Hi, I'm former Buckeye quarterback Rex Kern. I played football, basketball, and baseball in high school. Those experiences provided me with learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. High school sports help young people learn about hard work, discipline, and sacrifice, and they go a long way in helping provide the tools needed to succeed in life. High school sports are more than extracurricular, they're extra important too.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
In Fairfield County, something new comes across my desk every day. Crimes are committed, cases are solved, and a community is made safe by the hardworking employees of the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office.
Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Phelan, a weekly program here on LSN Television, Time Warner. We're also carried by a number of the radio affiliates here in Lancaster. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week. This show is actually produced at Fairfield Christian Academy. Appreciate the students. Our executive producer, Kelly Roberts, behind the scenes, gets the questions together, the guests, and does a terrific job. We have a great guest coming up for the next 2 weeks. We have Jessica Murphy.
Hello.
It's good to see you, Jessica.
Good to see you too.
And Jessica is with the Reentry Coalition.
Yep, that is correct.
And we're going to learn a lot about that here in the next couple weeks. But before we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I live here locally in Fairfield County, grew up here, graduated from Fisher Catholic.
Okay.
I have an associate's in law enforcement technology and bachelor's in criminal justice.
Okay.
I worked for the Fairfield County Prosecutor's Office when I came right out of school and saw this position for coordinator of the Reentry Coalition and felt passionate about it and decided to take a shot at it.
Okay, Lancaster High School grad?
Fisher Catholic.
Or Fisher Catholic.
Yeah. Yes.
You told me that. Fisher Catholic.
Yep.
We have Christmas coming up.
Yes.
So, tell me what's kind of a fond memory of Christmas for you?
I think waking up Christmas morning with my two younger sisters and seeing the gifts under the tree, spending the morning with family, and then, having dinner and everything else with extended family. So
very good.
Definitely a family time for me.
Very good. And before I forget, I would just remind our viewers and listeners that toward the end of the year, we are going to have a special program, and we did this last year and it turned out so well, where we are going to have our bureau commanders from our detective bureau, our jail, and also the patrol division, and they're going to go and kind of a year in review and go over things that happened during 2015. And then we're also going to have another program on some of the goals and things we see for next year. So it's a great program, and it just talks about the major crimes we've had in the county during the last year, some of the major type of jail events that happened last year or this year, and then also some things that happened at the SWAT team and patrol division, our narcotics officers. So it's a great program. So mark your calendars. The last couple weeks of this year, we're going to have this week in review, and then the goals for next year for the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office. Jessica, tell us a little bit about what the Reentry Coalition is.
Sure. The Reentry Coalition was developed in 2010. They've developed or received a grant under the Board of Commissioners, as their supervisors, to develop this of different agencies. These agencies are law enforcement, Ohio Department of Rehabilitations, social service agencies here in the county, also community members, faith-based. So we've got Pastor Tom Underwood on our coalition as well. Multiple people coming together for a common goal to help these offenders return home, and more specifically to our community.
So when individuals are ready to get out of jail or they've already been released, you help them prepare to get out into the community.
Exactly. Yep. We meet with them inside of the jail approximately 3 months after they've filled out that referral sheet to meet with us. And then we kind of go in and see what their needs are, what their barriers are going to be when they get out, kind of helping them transition a little bit easier back into the community. Some of them have been in for a while, some of them just a short time. So depending on their needs is how we kind of cater to them a little bit.
And what areas do you serve?
We serve both the male and female population, and they both have different needs, some of them similar needs. they kind of need help with the transportation, housing, which is one of the most difficult things to help with. So we do a lot of referrals to the shelters. But housing, transportation, hygiene items, clothing, food, and even their medical insurance they need help with.
What about jobs?
Jobs, that is a big thing. They don't just have jobs waiting for them when they get out. A lot of them have a record. This isn't their first time. So what we do is when we meet with them, either in the jail or outside, once they're released, we encourage them to work on a resume worksheet. When they're working on that worksheet, they can list out their skills that they do, things they've done in the past. So once they've completed that, they can meet with our reentry specialist again and kind of format that resume to fit them. We also encourage them to do a letter of explanation. It's not mandatory. Being involved with the coalition is all voluntary, but it's one of those things we encourage so they can kind of give that employer their story through their own words, what led them to get that charge, the time that they spent and how they've progressed and are ready to prepare for now.
Well, that's a great idea, because many times there's other things that, when you put down there involved in theft or involved in this or that, but if they have at least some reason behind it, maybe they were having trouble with addiction, maybe they were out of work, so there could be a host of different reasons behind that, although it doesn't make it right, but at least the employer would have a better sense of what's going on.
Yeah, and on that resume too, they may see a gap in time where there was no employment. And they can say, oh, I was incarcerated, but why were you incarcerated? Rather than the employer assuming things, they can give it in their own words.
It's got to be tough, because it's in today's workforce environment, it's tough to get a job for anyone many times. And housing, I know landlords often do a criminal background check and those type of things. So it's got to be particularly problematic when you're getting out of jail.
Yeah, most definitely. So that's why we try to emphasize their skills. And what they like to do and how they can help that employer and be an asset to their company. So what's the biggest surprise for you? I think seeing the younger population incarcerated, knowing that I have siblings that age and I was once that age, and definitely seeing them incarcerated and for the drugs and the theft and things like that. And I think that is where I become passionate on wanting to help them, kind of get them linked up with those services, get them into their counseling, help them get a job, make them feel good about themselves so they can move forward past this.
Yeah, that was a similar comment my wife had when she had a ministry, Grace Haven. And Grace Haven was and is a homes that if a woman gets out of jail and has nowhere to go, she can go there until she kind of gets her life together and gets some help. It's Christian-based. But she often said the same thing. It just reminded me many times, the girls I would talk to, of just like, kids. She was a teacher, kids she knew, and family members and things like that. It just made some terrible choices.
Yep. And, they get that second chance, and that's what we're there to help them with, move them along and help them become successful. I mean, they've got to want to do it too, but we're kind of there to push them, give that extra support for them.
Yeah, and just Friday, once in a while, and it doesn't happen very often, we actually get letters from prisoners, and I had like 2 within the last week or so.
Wow.
They got out of jail. And I just wanted to share one with not only you, but with our viewers and listeners, because it really kind of touched me. This individual was involved in some robberies, has since been sent to the penitentiary. It was within our Fairfield County Jail for a period of time. This is what he wrote, and then I'll show you a picture that he sent. It says, "Thank you for being there for me when I needed you." Now, this is directed to the men and women within the jail that work in the jail. It says, "You're correct in the fact that sometimes God will push you into dark so you can see the light. With your help and grace, I found it. You guys put up with so much hate and resentment. Still, you show up. Just know that I respect what you do, and we need people like you to help us. Have faith in knowing you helped one person on his way back home, and please make sure everyone sees this." And so he also hand penciled a picture of Jesus. And I got that last week, and it was just so touching. And it was the second letter that we had gotten from a person who had been incarcerated in our jail. And many times, probably not a week goes by that we don't get a lot of nice comments about road deputies and detectives and things. But, you know, when people are in jail, it's a tough job for our deputies, but it's so nice to hear these kind of outcomes. And I'm sure you've had some probably stories you could share.
Yeah, definitely. We have a client, you know, young male, early 20s. Drugs were his choice of crime. He spent some time in the county jail, and he heard about reentry, and we kind of got in there quick to see him. He's now working. He's staying clean. He has found himself a place to live. So that makes us feel good. He checks in every once in a while just to tell us, hey, I'm still working, I'm still clean, and we like to hear that a lot. Another client, you know, he drugs as well, spent some time in prison, got out. He is working, and now he is donating back to the cause that helped him. He's donating hats, you know, book bags for people. He just donated a pair of shoes the other day. So he sees these people that are in the same place that he was just a few months ago, and now he wants to give back to help. So I think knowing that we can help just 1, 2, you know, 3 people, that's great.
Well, those are great stories. And now you service the Fairfield County Jail, but do you also service some other facilities?
Yeah, we also go out to Southeastern Correctional.
Okay.
And we have a resource center out there where we have 2 inmate clerks working. So they help with the inmates coming in. They can be passed to go into our resource center, and they can work on resumes there as well. Some basic typing skills. They also have an interest profiler. So when they're working on the resumes, they can kind of take this little test to see what they like to do, what their skills are. So they're in there to help. And then we go in there once a week as well to meet with the Fairfield County residents that are in Southeastern Correctional.
Now, are most of the people that come in, are they residents of the county, Fairfield County?
We get all different kinds. The ones out at the prison, it's open to all offenders, and then we specifically meet with Fairfield County. Our walk-ins, a lot of them are Fairfield County. Other people that we meet with inside of the jail, we get a mixture. We track our Fairfield County residents underneath our grant, but we also take in other information for other counties because we don't want to turn anybody away.
Do you know how many people have come through? I know it's relatively new.
Just from July through October with our new location, we've had about 100 walk-ins.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we've had about 40 appointments
Okay.
in our office. And then with our HOPE grant, which is specific to females, we've got about 167 clients. Our resource grant, which is both male and female, we've got about 200 clients with that.
And then how often do you see these folks?
They have a schedule, so just about every day we're in the jail visiting, or we're out at CTC or SEPTA visiting clients.
And once a person's come in for the first time, how many times do they meet with you once they're out?
As long as they want to keep that line of communication open and want to continue these case management services, it can be 1 time, it can be 5 or more, just depending on how often they want to keep up with us.
We're just about out of time. We'd like to have you back next week, Jessica, to talk more about the programs, maybe how there's an involvement with the families, how people can, if they want to get involved, to donate things. But we can talk about that next week because we're just about out of time.
Sounds great.
Jessica Murphy, the coordinator with the Reentry Coalition. Do appreciate you spending time with us today.
Thank you.
Look forward to next week. And we're just about out of time. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners. We're certainly appreciative of the students here at Fairfield Christian Academy, where this program is produced. Our executive producer, Kelly Roberts. If you're out there driving, be careful, buckle up. God bless, and we'll see you right here next week.
Everywhere that we go, he makes people laugh and makes people smile, and I feel like I have that quality.
He's the one who always takes me fishing.
I watch golf with him. And
I watch him cook, because when I grow up, I want to be a cook too.
We have the same faces like this.
Dad is the one, when you fall, that picks you up.
That unconditional sense of presence and reassurance is really what makes him my father.